All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving head first into the super intense geopolitical fight over artificial intelligence. This is a battle that's totally reshaping global power and honestly creating a whole new world order.
Yeah, you heard that right. This isn't just about clever software or algorithms anymore. The real struggle, the thing everyone is fighting for, is the actual physical hardware that makes AI possible. And believe me, the stakes could not be higher. So, to really grasp the power and balance we're talking about, just look at this number. This comes from the Boston Consulting Group. The market capitalization of US tech companies is a staggering 20 times larger than Europe's. That kind of financial muscle has massive implications for who can actually afford to build the next generation of AI. So this entire battle is being fought along this incredibly fragile and complex global supply chain. You can almost think of it like a high-stakes, high-tech relay race. Okay, let's take a closer look here. What this really shows are all the different runners in this crazy relay race, where each country is holding a critical and, get this, often non-substitutable piece of the puzzle. You can't just swap one out for another. So the key thing to see here is just how specialized every single role is. You've got the US designing the chips, but then it's Taiwan that's actually manufacturing them. And they're doing it using these one-of-a-kind lithography machines from the Netherlands with absolutely essential materials coming out of Japan. It's wild. And because this supply chain is so vital, it's basically become a geopolitical choke point. As the BlackRock Investment Institute points out, the tech world as we knew it, it's fracturing. It's breaking apart. Okay, so who are the main players in this new global chess match? Well, it really starts with two very clear frontrunners. In one corner, you've got the United States, with its just unbelievable capital, top-tier talent, and massive computing power. And in the other corner, you have China, which is closing the gap at lightning speed by leveraging its enormous data advantage and filing a ton of AI patents. But here's the thing, this isn't just a simple story about the US versus China. Beyond these two superpowers, there's a whole new group of really influential players starting to make their move. And according to BCG, these so-called middle powers are making some really smart strategic choices. They're not just picking a side, they're building up their own unique strengths. And as you can see, each of these nations is playing to its own strengths. Right? They're not trying to go head-to-head with the US or China on every front. Instead, they're carving out their own niches and creating new centers of technological influence all around the globe. And this brings us to what might be one of the most powerful examples of this new world order in action, a really fascinating and fast-growing tech alliance between the Middle East and Asia. We're talking about these two middle powers, the UAE and Singapore. They're literally building a strategic corridor for trade, for investment, for innovation. They're positioning themselves to be critical hubs in this new, reconfigured global economy. And the scale of this partnership, it's already immense. This number, $18.67 billion, that's just their bilateral trade in goods from last year alone. And it's not just about trade either. We're talking about more than 600 Singaporean companies that are now operating in the UAE, using it as a springboard into the rest of the region. And the money flowing between them is just staggering. To give you some perspective, just one bank, the First Abu Dhabi Bank, handled over $80 billion in investments between the UAE and Asia last year. $80 billion. So why does this matter so much? Well, this partnership is basically showing us a whole new model for success. It's about agile, strategic alliances built on mutual economic interests, completely independent of that US-China rivalry. Okay, so let's zoom back out. What does all of this really mean for the future? Where are we headed? We're living through what BlackRock has termed global technology decoupling. That single globalized tech ecosystem that we all kind of took for granted, yeah, it's gone. And this timeline, wow, it really shows you just how fast this whole thing is escalating. I mean, in just a few short years, we've gone from targeting single companies to a reality where entire nations have to navigate this incredibly complex web of restrictions and new opportunities. And that really leaves us with a final crucial question. As this tech world continues to split apart, is it possible that the nations that end up thriving won't be the ones with the most raw power, but maybe the ones with the smartest partners?